Hola, this is your Good News Roundup, and this week's positive headlines mark last week's World Mental Health Day. The World Health Organization says we are getting better at treating mental disorders. There's been a significant rise in Spain's mental health care budget. Scientists in Singapore are harnessing the power of artificial intelligence for the early detection of mental health disorders. A new study that says that more compliments you give, the happier you'll be, and a new era for hearing aids. One of the far-reaching effects of the COVID-19 pandemic has been the huge toll it has taken on people's mental health. Rates of already common conditions such as depression and anxiety went up by more than 25% in the first year of the pandemic. The good news is that many countries have updated their national policies and strategies for mental health, says the World Health Organization. The Spanish government, for example, has recently announced a 67% increase in the mental health care budget for 2023. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez had previously presented an action plan to tackle the impact of COVID-19 on mental health, for which he allocated an amount of 100 million euros to cover the period from 2021 to 2024.
El Gobierno hoy presenta el Plan de Acción 2021-2024 Salud Mental COVID-19. Va a contar con una dotación económica de 100 millones de euros por parte del Gobierno de España. En primer lugar, lo que debemos es mejorar la atención de la salud mental.
Countries such as Finland and Iceland have been teaching social-emotional skills in schools. Canada has made positive mental health promotion a priority with a dedicated surveillance framework. In 2021, Chile announced that the budget for mental health would increase by 310%. In 2020, Australia doubled entitlement for sessions of psychological therapies. Before COVID, New Zealand developed the world's first well-being budget. International research on mental health is advancing, with relevant and high-quality research. Mental health conditions can be hard to spot. Unlike, for example, a kidney disease, which is relatively easy to diagnose, conditions such as anxiety or depression have no specific biomarkers that can be picked up with a test. Patients with the same mental disorder can present many different symptoms, which makes it very difficult for physicians to diagnose accurately. But scientists from Nanyang Technological University in Singapore are developing an AI diagnostic toolkit that could help them solve the problem.
We collected different variables, different signals from variables. That's something that we call digital biomarkers. So among them is heart rate, also is your sleep patterns and energy expenditures. And then we managed to extract some knowledge from those, and then we correlated that with symptoms that we saw.
They say artificial intelligence ability to process large data sets efficiently could help us detect the biomarkers of various mental health conditions. They also think the technology could help predict if a patient's mental impairment will become more severe.
I really am happy that we are working in this kind of digital health intersection. So it's not only chasing some numbers, but I really think that with proper translation in a healthcare process, then we can help people with the knowledge and algorithms that we are developing.
Do you give compliments often? When was the last time you received one? Why don't we give more of them? A simple compliment can make someone stay, yet we constantly underestimate how great they can make a person feel. We also overestimate how bothered and uncomfortable we might make someone feel, and we worry that our words might land wrong. But it turns out, it's all unfounded.
Pay me a compliment, Melvin. I need one.
Compliments make us feel good, to hear them and to give them, according to 5 comprehensive studies done by 2 scientists from the University of Pennsylvania.
Only 50% of people in one experiment who wrote down a compliment for a friend actually sent the compliment along when given the chance, even though they'd already done the hardest part, coming up with something nice and thoughtful to say. That is, despite the widely shared desire to give more compliments. When faced with the decision, people still often forego low-cost opportunities to make others feel appreciated and valued. Indeed, when asked, nearly 90% of people believe that they should compliment each other more often, and yet we tend not to give them in practice.
The 2 women scientists also discovered that the element of surprise can take the already powerful compliment to the next level. When givers caught their recipients off guard, the people receiving the compliments were even more grateful. So maybe try it out. Make an unexpected compliment today and see how great it makes you feel. Hearing loss can be quietly devastating for tens of millions of people. There is a strong link between deafness and loneliness. There's even an increased risk of falls because hearing loss can trigger balance issues. People losing their hearing are also more likely to have dementia. But the thing is that not many people that need one actually use a hearing aid. In the United States, for example, less than a third of adults over 70 that need a hearing aid have ever used one. In Europe, 65% of Europeans with hearing loss do not use hearing aids. Why? Frustration about timescales and costs appear to be one of the main reasons discouraging millions from buying the devices. Until recently, the sale of hearing aids was restricted to licensed professionals, which kept the prices high, very high, as much as $4,000 to $5,000 American dollars. The good news is that this all changed last week, when the U.S. Food and Drug Administration made high-quality hearing aids, which are suitable for most people who experience moderate to mild deafness, an over-the-counter product.
The market was open this past Monday, October 17th, that hearing aids can be sold over the counter for adults with mild to moderate hearing loss. We hope that having these hearing aids in the mainstream will make them more accessible and more affordable and more acceptable for some people.
If you found value in this episode of the Good News Roundup, share it with your friends. See you next time. And remember, some news can be good news.